Alright, so I guess most obvious question would be, how did y'all link up with the board? Like, was that through, Fat Trail perform? I think he had mentioned some of our performers before.
He came down pure. I think my man Reek. Shout out to the board, the whole board. My man Reek, he saw Trail down at Pure one night, and he went and told Greg and Wale and all them about him, and Greg came. Yeah, they gave me. Me and Greg had a meeting. We talked. We rapped. And that's that.
Alright. Do y'all? I guess let me take it back for a minute. What artists would you say influenced you? I know you clearly you listen to a lot of the.
Honestly, for real. I listen to all different kinds of music, but the artist that really wanted me, that really made me want to take music seriously was my man Fats. And nobody knows who he is. Not saying in a bad way. Shout out to my man Fats, Struggle Music, the whole No Feast Beats and everybody. But and he was doing it. He's a little older than I am, but he was doing it. He was taking it seriously. He was making good music. And I used to just like bullshit freestyle because I used to rap. So I used to bullshit freestyle and all that kind of shit. So I used to have a video camera and a camera. So I'm like, man, when I really wanted to start making music, I started hanging with them, start taking their pictures, following them around, recording them. So I made myself necessary. So I was in the studio learning learning about bars and how to lay down the song and all that kind of shit. And so that really inspired me to make music. And the dude that was making music for us at the time, me and my homies, he stopped making music. So he was our producer. So I went out, I had to go buy equipment, and I was at an open mic on U Street, Capital City Records, and I met E. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, he was fucking with us, so he was like, we want to collaborate with y'all or whatever. So then we heard some of their beats and shit, and shout out to my man Danny and shit. Danny used to make music with us too and shit, but I'm like, man, this shit like that, Slim. I was like, man, I said, man, how much you charge for these beats? He was like, man, what you working with? So I was like, man, I got the 1000 Pro Tools. I got the same shit. He said, I'll do you one better. I'll show you how to make music. I was like, and it's been a blessing since that point. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm here because I'm the oldest, but I'm the youngest when it comes to producing. So it's still a lot. I can make, funky music with them by myself, like he's saying, but it's a lot of shit that I'm still learning though. So, the way the process happened for me was like a real blessing. You know what I'm saying? So.
Well, for me, my father been playing guitar, I guess all my life. So, and both my parents love music. Like, when I was a kid, my mom used to have us dancing in the living room, like 2-3 times a week just with the radio on. So I remember all the music, the old music, and especially all the old rappers from the beginning. I specifically like Big Pun, Big L. I really like those guys a lot. Wu-Tang Clan influenced me a lot.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. And I like people from when I was a kid, like Fiona Apple. She's like one of my favorite of all time. And like modern music that inspires me a lot is like Gnarls Barkley. That really inspires me.
Sure.
Yeah, stuff like that. My man Chaos from Canada. He's a real hot artist too. Everybody should check him out. Fat Trail inspires the hell out of me. He inspires me in my regular everyday life. Cause I think he's probably one of the best rappers ever. And I got to experience working with an artist from the bottom to the top. Not even to the top yet, but from his beginnings to where he is now, and watch that progression. That progression inspires me more than any other artist. That's about it, really.
Me personally, I grew up on go-go. I had some neighbors. I'm from Peachey County, and so I moved into this neighborhood. I live next to these dudes who who played every instrument basically, from horns to pianos to drums. And I look up to them a lot. Shout out to Rick Jones and Chris Jones. They taught me, he taught me how to play the drums, from trying to move my foot differently than I can move my arm simultaneously. And then from there, I was playing go-go's. Then I asked my mother to give me drum lessons. I got drum lessons, played in marching bands, wind ensembles and shit. But I stopped playing the drums. And after I got out of high school, I stopped playing the drums. And I really started after the go-go thing to me got old, and I had a best friend, Tony, and he was in the Wu-Tang. So he put me onto the Wu-Tang, and the music blew my mind. I mean, I think at the time, I think it was Liquid Swords was out. Oh no. This was Cuban Links, I think. Raekwon.
Both of those are classics.
And
the greatest.
I was just like, wow, what the fuck? Like, I mean, I had never heard sound, and I always liked rap, you know, back in the LL Cool J, all type of rap, you know, but this shit blew my mind, and it was just all hip hop from there. And then it was Nas, and then I started, you know, trying to make beats and shit, and then I met this girl when I was in college, and she had an MPC, and you know, at the time I was running around the street, so I got me a little money, got an MPC and a keyboard, started making beats like around 1999, 2000. Kept making beats for a little while, you know, just on my own. And then I was making beats for, you know, people I grew up around with or whatever, but not really, you know. It wasn't until I met E to, you know, really started to really try to actually, you know, really go somewhere with this. And it's just been, you know, this is where we at now, you know, years later. Who inspires me? I mean, Bob Marley inspired me a lot. I think he's one of the Michael Jackson and
two of the
Bob
greatest,
Marley,
most uplifting artists.
greatest to the greatest music producers, singers / writers, composers, whatever you want to call them. Quincy Jones inspires me a lot. Phil Collins inspires me. I mean, the list can go on and on. I can sit here for days and go about all the producers right now. I mean, even Timbaland's early work, Polar the Dawn right now is killing the Shorty Red. I'm loving right now. RZA to me is one of the best producers. Kanye West, of course, Just Blaze. Swiss Beats is doing his thing.
I mean, RZA kind of changed sampling, I think.
Yeah, he definitely.
I might be wrong. I don't
He
know.
did change sampling.
I agree with that. Actually,
He changed the whole. He did to sampling what Teddy Riley did to the radio, and what Timbaland did to the radio.
He started taking samples and composing with it instead of just ripping off songs.
Right,
Basically.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. He made a sample. You might not know where it came from,
Right.
but he made it into different music. Which
Right.
Kanye West, I think, took a lot of the RZA stuff and he just built on it, because Kanye West, to me, he made.
Well, I think Primo's one of the ones in the
Primo too.
Of that too that
Premier.
you can't forget too.
Yeah, Premier.
Because he
You
was
cannot
one of the
forget
ones
Premier.
that really started composing.
Yeah,
samples.
you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. You cannot forget Premier. Can't forget Dr. Dre. He definitely inspired me. Scarface inspired me a lot.
I mean, I like a lot
Isaac
of
Hayes.
underground rappers too that inspired me in my early phase of really being serious about music. I mean, I won't mention a whole bunch, but LP is one of the rappers that really inspired me. Aesop Rock. Shit. I mean, I ain't gonna keep going on and on. MF Doom.
Yeah, you used to always talk about that guy.
Was really hot too. Oh, and Redman too. Definitely is one of the best rappers of all time.
Yeah, I'm always gonna love Redman shit.
Eminem.
Yeah, he was really.
I heard somebody on MTV. I want this to get this out. I heard somebody on MTV say the stupidest shit I ever heard in my life. They gonna say if Eminem wasn't white, he would not be relevant. Man, if Eminem was purple, if I never knew what fucking color he was, if I didn't know what color he was, and I never knew what the fuck he looked like,
Nah, but I'm
just
saying,
like I never knew what Tina Marie looked like.
No, but like he was saying, like if he was black, he wouldn't. I heard him say if he was black, he wouldn't sell as many records.
Nah, he said he wouldn't have been. It wouldn't be as a big deal. Let me tell you something, man. Eminem has, regardless of what color he is, like Kim and Stan are arguably one of the
whole first album,
arguably one of the best songs ever written. You can argue that. I mean,
and his first album the whole thing was really, really good.
Just crazy. The first time I saw him, I was like, what the fuck? The Guilty Conscience? Are you kidding me? Anybody could have rapped that. I was offended by that. You know.
He's not one of my favorite artists because I don't personally really relate to a lot of the music that he makes.
Right.
I think
I
he's
the artistic
extremely talented.